Hey everybody, DrLupo here, and today we are going to be talking about the ultimate loadout that I've been running in Battlefield 2042. But before we get into that and the power of the SVK, I need to remind you, do me a favor, go subscribe to the channel, DrLupo Extended. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and all the social media stuff and all that. Not a big deal if you don't, but if you do, I appreciate it. We are going to be talking about the SVK, Sundance, and the power of the two coming together here in Battlefield 2042 as honestly one of the most effective loadouts I have seen in the game thus far. I cannot wait to show you the shenanigans we've been up to. To start, I've been enjoying playing as Sundance quite a bit. The included grenade payload gives you the ability to EMP Rangers, the dogs, when they're on the field, anti-tank when you have to handle the Humvees, and anti-personnel when things get a little too dicey under pressure. You can take those, throw those into the air. The cluster drops down on top of opponents. It's great for zone coverage. It also means you can take smoke grenades as your throwable, which I love because the ability to cover your teammates for revives or just getting out of tough situations when the pressure's too high. In addition, Sundance's Wingsuit gives the perfect way to catch up to teammates or scout ahead, especially when paired with the ultimate hazard zone weapon, the reason you are here, the SVK. But we will get to that in a second. Before we do, since you'll be playing from a distance in hazard zone, and I can't show it on this screen sadly, I choose to take the 50% increased healing off the rip. It is a great tactical perk, gives you the ability to bob in and out of cover whenever you need to heal, because with the SVK and the range you're going to be shooting from, you won't necessarily be close enough that you're going to have to worry about not getting your HP back quickly. That being said, there are going to be situations in which, Sundance does not have the ability to cover, and maybe a smoke grenade isn't enough, and you'll need a backup. That's why we're going to talk about real quick the MP28. This thing I have been absolutely enjoying up close. It does a great job of clearing out infantry. If anybody's pushing you, you need a good swap weapon for when they're getting up close. People will push you with smokes and use cover when you're running the SVK because it's an insane weapon. And now you're going to have a hollow for your SVK as well, and we'll talk about that in a second. You'll thank me later for that one as well. But the MP28, in a tough situation, you're going to want something to be able to use, and I've been loving this thing. I also, the way that I play Hazard Zone, I've been bringing the ammo crate, because you really only need the one, and I do find that with the SVK, the MP28, I'm going through ammo more than I am if I were up close and personal, because you will get those ammo refills on opponents when you get when you get kills. You're not always in a situation where you could do that. So the ammo crate with the SVK does feel really good. But with all that being said, the star of the show, the Hazard Zone King right now, is this bad boy, the SVK. This thing is, in my opinion, one of the most ridiculous guns that they put in the game. It is absolutely a slayer in Hazard Zone, and I think it is because of the lower number of players and the fact that there's AI in the way that you can deal out damage with this thing. It's insane. It's got insane range. The damage is high enough to two-shot any opponent. It has a plethora of scopes to choose from. As the mastery goes up, it's just ridiculous. It gets better and better. And I will admit, I was actually reluctant to start using it because my chat, when I was live the last couple days, they had recommended using it, and I was loving the DM7. But as soon as I unlocked the SVK and finally gave it a chance, I'm not gonna lie to you, it did kind of change my mind. This is the kind of gun you're gonna take if you want to try and push 30 kills in a single game of Hazard Zone without much issue. Let's talk about the attachments though. Sight-wise, I typically take 3 to cover all ranges required. Right now I've been running an 8X for my long range. I have a 1.5 to 3.5, the Maul, they call it the Hammer in other games, that you can toggle between. Granted, the toggle situation is not necessarily great right now. You have to be ADS and hit your melee key to switch between that, but that does easily cover the sight, the hollow sight range requirement, as well as a mid-range sight without having to run the fusion. If I do, for some reason, if I ever switch off the Maul, at least I have the fusion hollow up top because it's got a really good sight picture. There's not a lot in the way, but this does kind of take care of both situations. And you're gonna want something. You're gonna want something with this gun that can cover long range, because that's where you're gonna be getting your poking done. And if you do get a good poke or get a knock on somebody, you can use Sundance's ability to push up with the wingsuit and get up close, which I have done countless times. It comes in handy so often that there is no reason to not bring a very deep sight with it as well. You can get used to the 4X, the static 4X that comes with it. We can talk about that sight real quick. It is this guy, the Raven. If you are stuck on the default sight and you do not have the ability to swap off yet, put the T at their shoulders. The bullets from this gun go a little high when you shoot it, so you're going to want to make sure that you're aiming lower than you actually think you need to. and you will thank me later for that. Plus, make sure you are not moving when you take shots from a distance. Just trust me on that one. Anyway, sight-wise is going to be kind of a preference thing, but this is what I've been using right now, the 8x, the 1.5 to 3, and then a hollow as a backup just in case. Now, the next and honestly the most important piece of the puzzle is the ammunition. Luckily, you start with high power rounds. Out of the gate, you are good to go. High power rounds bring the firepower stat up to 75. This is key to being able to two-shot your opponents. I want to note, too, that I'm sad to report that the extended mag, while it does give an insane for this gun 15 rounds in the magazine, it does prevent the reliable two-shot capability of the SVK. It seems like the damage drop-off at 70 firepower is a little too low to guarantee a two-shot once you get past what seems like about 100 meters. For the underbarrel, I have been preferring the Cobra grip. I do kind of treat myself like a killing machine, like a walking turret, but that's the thing, is you have to be static to get full use of the accuracy of the weapons in Battlefield. It seems like right now, if you're moving and shooting, anything beyond 30 meters is kind of a crapshoot. So for any DMR, specifically the SVK, for sure, you're going to want to make sure that this accuracy while static is as high as possible, because let's face it, you want to prevent bullet deviation from the barrel every time you take a shot. That way, you know at range, if you're accurate and you're leading appropriately, which is going to be huge, you're going to be able to two-tap reliably. Lastly, my opinion is this, as far as barrel, this is going to be a choice for the feel of the gun, but I can tell you, after a couple days of playing, I can safely say that the extended barrel will please those that pick up the gun. The shorter you need to lead the target, the easier is going to be to hit said target, and since this increases projectile velocity, the SVK becomes incredibly reliable at range to lead your targets. Now, if that isn't an issue and you want to be able to calculate, if you can calculate the lead a little easier, you get better at it, I would say take the champion muzzle brake. The accuracy and range stat increase. Ignore the fact that it says vertical recoil control. That's not a big deal. Look at the stats up here. The swap between the two of these, everything except for firepower goes up. And you can tell, especially in accuracy and range, that there is a pretty substantial impact when running the champion muzzle brake. But you do lose out on the projectile velocity increase, so you're going to have to lead just a little bit more. All that being said, the SVK, along with the rest of the loadout, has become one of the most effective support / Slayer style builds that I have seen for Hazard Zone. I've been pushing almost 30 kills routinely. The AI opponents are not a big deal. You can take a whole squad out on your own with this thing from a distance. It is absolutely disgusting, and once you get used to these sights, you're gonna absolutely dominate in Battlefield 2042. Appreciate you watching. Please enjoy the proof of concept to follow. And if you have not already done so, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the main, subscribe to the second, drop by the stream and say hello. And I do hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.